Hey y'all, what's going on? Wanted to come to you and make a little video. Remember I was telling you about string electric fishing poles? I went ahead and changed out some line on two of mine. Uh, Old Blue finally broke with me, my Rapala that I use so much. And that was my last one I had of that. But now I do love these jointed Rapalas. Okay, you can reel them real slow. And stop, and they're suspending, and they rattle a little. It's just a great lure. Uh, I like the one that goes a little deeper for casting by docks and things like that. And just, deep cover or something, I'll bring it by it real slow, cast by it. And then that way it's at the depth I want it to be by the time I get to the structure I'm coming by, whether it's a dock, a stump, a brush, a treetop, anything. That's the way I fish that, and it does really good. Now, my other rod, I changed it out too. I have braided line on it, and I had some old mono that I put on, and I got thinking about it. And whenever you're going to be using crankbaits and things, or something you want your line to be down in the water, you want that fluorocarbon line. So I went ahead and switched it out. The fluorocarbon line that I like to use is the Vanish, the Berkley Vanish. It's 100% fluorocarbon, but it really seems to work well. Now with this rod, this is my most expensive rod. It's a Halo rod. It's a XD3 Pro, and then I've got my Quantum Reliance reel on it. Now I've always liked Quantum. They're pretty good. Now this is a little higher end on the Quantum lineup, but it's pretty good. And then these rods are really good. I do like the Halo rods. Okay, but I got the fluorocarbon line on it. I went with the 14-pound test on this one, and I'm going to be using on this. I got the shallow jointed. Okay, and I figured I'd probably be catching a little bit bigger fish on that right now because the bass starting to bed and stuff. I can bring that through and pause it right there beside their bed, and they usually hit it. Okay, so that's starting to happen where I'm at. The bass are starting to bed more. They haven't really bedded much. Now, a little further south in the bigger lakes, I've talked to a bunch of boys, and they're bedding heavy. They're catching them in the beds. Right here, they're not bedding much. They're just now starting to because we keep having these cold snaps. But they're starting to bed now. And now I would throw... I like the Strike King Rage Bugs. I like those, or the Ochos or something like that. I throw it if I was going bed fish. But my oldest son, he loves using all that stuff. All the rubber lures, the plastic lures. He likes to use that, and so because of him fishing with me, it changes what I actually use. And the more he's fished with me, the more I've went to using stuff I can cast, and fish faster. And I let him, whenever we pull up to a spot, and whatever spot looks the best for throwing something in and letting it sink and then twitching it on the bottom, I'll let him do that. And then while he's doing that, I'll be hitting other spots and just casting and retrieving. And we do really good like that. It's almost like we're just a good team when it comes to fishing. Hopefully we can catch y'all some bigger bass here in a little bit. We've been catching a lot of bass, but they've been pretty small. We caught a couple big trout the other day. But now I really want to be able to bring y'all some big bass, and we usually catch some. It's the hard thing is actually remembering, because you get excited. You get a big bass on, trying to remember to video it, and so I'm going to try and do that for y'all. But yeah, remember I put out the video the other day about putting fresh line on. I had put some on, but it was old, and I started second guessing it. So I went ahead and took that back off, and I put the new fluorocarbon on that one and the new fluorocarbon on this one. And now this rod has got the Zebco bullet reel on it. Okay, I really don't like bait casters much. Okay, so I use this bullet instead because it's got a super fast retrieve. It's great for anything you want to fish. And using that little joker right there. Now, I was using a blue tail dancer on that shad, but you can't get those anymore. They discontinued them. They got stuff that's close to it, but it's not that. It doesn't swim the exact same way. But I really like those, but I don't have any more of those. The other one I had, the last one, I broke the nose off of it, so it's done. But now I'm going to be using that, and those are really good lures, those jointed Rapalas, especially those, that size, that color. You can reel them and pause it, and they're suspended. And so you can reel them slow and stop and slow and stop. And a lot of times in bass will hit something like that. Now I've got, like on my ultralight rod, I'll probably have either a Panther Martin or a Rooster Tail. And I'll be doing a pretty fast start with that. I start off fast drilling it just to make sure I get it spinning good and make sure it's clean and up off the bottom. And then I'll slow it down, and you can feel it, especially with that ultralight rod. You can feel it spinning good. You know, a lot of y'all know this. But that's what I'm going to be using here the next few weeks. And like I said, I would have some sort of plastic bait for throwing it and dropping it in the edge of the beds and then just twitching it and getting them bass mad to where they hit it. But my oldest son fishes with that a lot, so I'm going to let him do that. And all you dads out there know, I'd rather him catch a big bass as me catch a big bass. I just love to go. I love to catch anything that wants to bite. I mean, it's always fun whenever you're catching fish. It's even fun whenever you're not catching fish. But for the younger kids, you want to try and do that. That brings me to another thing. Any of y'all that don't have kids, you know, if you're a good person that lives clean and does the right thing, there's a lot of kids out there that don't have a good male role model in their life. A few years back, my wife taught me into doing the Big Brother program, and I did that, and there was two great kids that I got to take. And what I usually do is I take them fishing and stuff. I think I took them camping some, but I mean, I got them outside. I got them outdoors, you know, doing stuff like that. And hopefully, I haven't talked to them in a long time. They're young men now out doing their own thing. I hope they're doing good. But any of y'all that have the time to do that, now I try to do something with them at least every other weekend. I try to take them fishing or do something like that and get them out. And because kids need a positive male role model in their life. What brought that on was yesterday I went and caught some trout, me and my son, and we just got done, and there was a guy and a boy walked up, and that's what he was doing. He was being the part of the Big Brother program for that boy. So that was super awesome. You know, I was so glad to see him. I gave him a pack of the Ned Ochos, the Strike King Ochos. I gave him a pack of those. I said, here, man, I said, you know, one big brother to another, here you go. And so hopefully they did good and caught some good fish. Me and my son went and hit another spot, let them have that spot. But that's a really great program. Any of y'all that have the time to do that can actually be a positive male role model for these kids, that's something you might get into, you know. Just, you know, don't be cussing around them, don't be drinking around them, anything like that, you know. Try to set the best example you can, then that way it can have a positive effect on that youngin', okay? But I wanted to mention that. Any of y'all that don't have kids that have time to do that, you know, that might be something that you look into doing, okay? But now it's not for everybody, and I wouldn't recommend everybody doing it. Only if you got the time and you will dedicate so much time to doing that, and if you're going to be the correct role model that these kids need. But I hope everybody has a great day, and hope everybody else is ready to go, ready to fish, and y'all have good. And make sure you take somebody with you. It's always more fishing whenever you got company. We'll see you. Bye.